Have you guys tried any of the sales generating ideas we've shared in the last couple weeks? Well, today we have a great webinar with some fabulous examples of what shops are doing to stay engaged with their customers. Today I'm welcoming two of the, I'm Sandy Schroeck with Lembush Roses, and welcome to LBR Share Success. This is a bi-weekly reoccurring webinar that's a peer-to-peer discussion talking about best business practices, driving sales, and profitability. It's a forum to engage and collaborate and inspire each other. We do have previous webinars that are available on YouTube with a private link. Just ask your salesperson for information on that. My panel today, I would like to introduce our panel, and we have joining us today Allie Tempelis from Lexington Floral and Boutique in Shorewood, Minnesota, and Cyndy Strand from Pick Me Flowers in International Falls, Minnesota. We're also joined by Ray Sveer, who's Lembush Roses IRF Sales Manager. So Ray will be monitoring the chat. So if you guys would like to ask any questions or anything, there should be a chat box that you can open. There's a more with 3 dots, has the chat box there, and some people have it in the control panel. But open up that chat box and tell us where you're from. And if you have any questions as we're moving along, be sure to ask them in that chat, and we will address those either during the webinar or get back to them. So first we'd like to go to Allie from Lexington Floral. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your shop and yourself?
Definitely. Well, first off, thank you for having me today. I just want to say I love the sense of community that Lembush is creating for Midwest florists. In times like this, it's especially important that all florists prop each other up. So a little bit about our business. It was started in 1985 by my grandfather and my mother, Glenn Rose and Barb Rose, in Shoreview, Minnesota. So we're just north of St. Paul. I started working here probably when I was 13. So I've been in the floral industry a few years. I started managing our store in 2012 and then bought the business from my mom in 2017 and took over then. We are a full service florist. We also have a large gift boutique where we sell things like home decor, plants, clothing, and well, gifts. So yeah. Happy to be here.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's a beautiful store.
Thank you.
All right, so we're also joined by Cyndy from Pick Me Flowers in International Falls. So why don't you tell us about your business?
So International Falls is right on the Canadian border. We're probably the northernmost customer for Lembush Roses, actually. We bought the business in April of 2016. There was a couple of guys that had the business for about 8 months, but prior to that, it was a business that dated back to 1983, I think it was. And when the couple sold it, they were in their early 80s. I don't know how they made it through Mother's Day and Valentine's Day at that age, but they did it. It was a family business. It was known as Strife Floral. So we bought it, and then we rebranded it as Pick Me Flowers. And when we first bought it, it was in a little bit of a questionable area in town, which is ironic because I can see it from the back door of our shop right now. But we moved it onto Main Street. We got an opportunity to do that. We're right next to the only drugstore in town that's outside of a medical facility. So it's a really busy place for us to be. So we've been doing it since, like I said, early 2016. And I'm an engineer by trade. So this is a bit of a change for me. And actually my right hand, she's a park ranger. So we're a florist, or we're an engineer and a park ranger trying to be florists. We always joke that we're not real florists, but we're finding our way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sometimes it takes, changes or whatever, and you go with it and then find your passion. All right. So as we're going, this has really been quite a challenging year, but it's still amazing that we do have shops that are growing in sales. Allie, what's one of the biggest changes you made in the business when the COVID pandemic hit?
Yeah, so I would say one of the biggest changes actually we implemented about a month and a half in, so about mid-April. So backing up, when I took over the business, we dropped all wire services, and that came with all of the stock images. So the past couple of years, we've been working on building our own image library. We noticed that around Mother's Day, when the orders started to come in, there were flowers that we just couldn't get, and as everyone knows, it's sometimes even a popular flower that would be easy to get. And we didn't want to have to substitute everything or call every customer. So we ended up changing every arrangement on our site to some form of designer's choice arrangement. So customers can still customize it by choosing the style of the arrangement. There's modern, which is like clean lines and floral groupings, it's usually a little bit lower. Gardeny, it would be free form, more textures, classic, just kind of a traditional design, usually in seasonal colors, or in a mason jar, which is always a popular vessel for us. So for each style selection, we were able to use images from that library we built, where you can see there underneath the monochromatic medley. We were able to use our own images so people can get a feel of what their arrangement might look like. Right on the website, we actually explained our reasoning for going to this model for our arrangements. And I think because we have that explanation on that arrangement page, there hasn't been a lot of pushback. People have been very understanding. So so far it's been a very successful switch. Very little pushback. So, and also one of my favorite things about it, Sandy, is that it allows our designers to have more artistic freedom for everything, and it's just been amazing, some of the stuff that they've been putting out, and they've just really been enjoying having that artistic freedom. So it's been overall a good change.
Improve your efficiency if you don't have to go get a yellow sunflower specifically, or go grab the 8 things you need for a specific recipe. If you pull out flowers and are doing that kind of grouping, has to be improving your efficiency and also kind of allowing you to move through the flowers that you have too.
Very much so. Yeah, we've been able to lean out how many flowers we're ordering, where we've been able to go through our product faster, which means it's fresher.
Yeah.
And yeah, overall it's been a very good system. So
the other thing I want to call out on it, just many times we see flower shops with 3 price points, like a good, better, best kind of thing. And the other thing, so on the first page, it had the base price. And when you go in, she's got actually, 7 price points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 price points, but it kind of eliminated that ceiling there and allows people to get more choices. And because you didn't have to show a specific photo of it, you sell more the feeling and the colors and the style, but then also expanded your price points too. So
yeah, we expanded our price points and we brought the price points up. Like our designer choice arrangements used to start at $34.95, and now our arrangements for the most part start at $49.95, and then instead of going up by $10 increments, they all go up by $15 increments, because when you increase an arrangement by $10, it's really not that much different. So
right.
We've been able to really see the difference between that classic and the deluxe, or the deluxe and the grand.
Yes.
And we've been having people consistently order those larger arrangements that we didn't used to offer. So
right.
Good.
Yeah, that's where, like, give them the choices and doesn't cost you anything. It's a good way to go.
Mm-hmm.
But so you're not the only one doing that. Cyndy at Pick Me Flowers also has on her website the custom arrangements. So Cyndy, you want to tell us about how you're working through that?
Well, that was a big thing. Sorry, my dog is making sounds in the background. This was a big thing for us, because we don't like to be tied into needing to maintain the same flowers in the cooler all the time to make stock arrangements. So if we don't if we don't commit to anything, then it allows us to have that freedom that Allie was talking about in terms of letting our designers do what's appropriate for our designers.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing that I saw that you did, so the one on the right is a post from her social media. And so it's on Facebook and it ties together. So it says some of our favorite items, and then it's labeled on the bottom as custom arrangement. And that was kind of one of the things we talked about last week, is taking pictures of our daily work and getting that posted out there, then kind of tying those names together with some of the things on how you're selling things on your website.
And that arrangement actually, just a shout out to Len Bush, is all Len Bush grown flowers in there.
Oh, it is.
It's all Minnesota grown from Len Bush.
Oh, see, well, so that would be another thing that you could actually, that whole buy local and Minnesota grown. So that would be something else that you can call out, and that's something for your customers to be able to talk about. But we're seeing definitely a lot of people supporting local and to, have that Minnesota grown. So as we're kind of talking about some of the things that we've done in previous weeks, we just want to possibly, there we go. I'm just going to do a poll, and we want to look at some of the things that you guys did or we talked about last week. And if you'll just enter in, there's multiple choice. Just what are some of the things that we talked about last week that you have implemented already or plan to implement? And so if you can choose some of those things that inspired you to use that. And the people that are going to be able to see the recording can't see this survey. So we're just going to talk about the Roses and Rolls was a partnership with a bakery, working on increasing your social media posts. That's, it's your window into your shop, promoting sympathy work on social media, thinking about taking your own photos for your website, and then sharing LBR posts. And one of the things, taking a look at your care and handling that increases the lasting ability of your flowers and kind of increasing your reputation. The What's New Wednesdays. What's New Wednesdays? That's a little tongue twister. But just showing new arrivals and things, take and make classes, and then some that did not attend. And so we'll end that poll, and I'll share it here. So we mostly see people increasing their social media posts and promoting sympathy work, reposting LBR posts, and then quite a few people that didn't attend. But just to know that you do have access to those previous webinars, that you can take a look at them. We're getting lots of great comments on people enjoying the ideas and taking the ideas and going from there.
Hey, Sandy, speaking of ideas, we have Miss Corey, who was a panelist a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
She thought it was a great idea with the designer choices that they're doing on their website. And she was wondering if they plan to eliminate specific recipes continuing going forward.
So Allie, do you want to speak to that? Are you planning on keeping that component of your website up, going post-COVID?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say because we don't know what or when post-COVID looks like, but I feel like it's working so well for us. I don't see why we would switch back to recipes. We've also been, I'll just talk quickly to another thing we've been doing called the pop-up shop on our website, where if we get like a funky container, we have like 6 of them, so we'll post a picture of that arrangement in the pop-up shop. So if people want to see a picture of exactly what they're getting, they have that option. And we did it for Mother's Day too, where we had like 4 or 5 Mother's Day specific arrangements for people who would prefer to see exactly what they're ordering.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you are marketing a little bit back and forth, but I think it's a real change that's needed to improve efficiency and profitability in flower shops. And I think it's kind of the new normal rather than post-COVID, like what are the things, and it forced us to make some changes. And what are the things we're going to keep out of that? And I think that designer choice is an awesome way to go. And I mean, it could be a hybrid of both, where you do have some that if they want to see the recipe, that you would go there. But just talking about the increased exposure, Cindy, you did something right away, and why don't you tell us about that?
You mean my table that we did?
Yeah, yes.
So as I alluded to at the beginning, we were very fortunate in our location. We're right on Main Street. We're next to one of the busiest places in town. And we have this little alcove out in the front of our shop. And so we just took the opportunity to take a table and put it right out in front. And we put some of these beautiful blooming plants from Len Bush that we had, along with a bunch of the hanging plants that we ordered. We set up a little shop kind of outside in front of the shop. And it was great. I mean, people were walking past when we were just taking care of the flowers and just commenting on how happy they were and how it was just bringing them joy. In addition, because of our location, it drove business. We had more first-time customers, I think, at the shop than we ever have. And we're continuing this right now. And we try to put kind of some of the cooler plants out there that are low price points that could be like impulse purchases for customers. And it works. I think we had a couple yesterday, a couple today. It's raining today, so it's a little bit different, but it's still working, and it's giving us visibility that we never had before. Like I said, it's great because it's this alcove, but we're tucked in there, and I don't think people really realize that we're there. So it's been advertising for us as well that's made us money.
Yeah, it's been done really well. And the other thing that it does is actually kind of gives those customers, where you couldn't have the shop open and them come in, but it does give them that shopping ability. And so that they could choose something, then you do a no interaction processing of payment, and they can take it and go with it. And so it's everybody's kind of craving that shopping type of thing yet. And so Allie, you've also been kind of reacting to some of the things going on. So why don't you tell us about your recent social justice campaign?
Yeah, so after Memorial Day, when we had learned about what had happened to George Floyd, we, as many did, felt just such profound sadness and asked ourselves, what can, as florists, we do? Like, how can we help as florists? And how could we use our platform as a business, for our business as a platform for positive change, rather? So the following weekend after that happened, we did receive a phone call saying, hey, a lot of the flowers that were at the memorial site were trampled and ruined. So it was a Sunday. Myself and a coworker came to the shop, packed up all the flowers, and mind you, it's a Sunday in the middle of a pandemic. So all the flowers is 5 buckets of flowers. But we brought them down and we handed them out for free. It was a wonderful experience. And on that following Monday, I received a call from a local business on 30th in Chicago who wanted to set up a tent and have us continue bringing flowers. So with the generosity of Len Bush, especially, and other local wholesalers, we were able to hand out, I think the retail value ended up being about $10,000 worth of stems for free for people to lay at the memorial. So that was just an amazing experience. We also held household needs and food drives at the store where customers and community members could drop things off for us to bring to different shelters and churches in the most affected neighborhoods. And I would say at the time of all this, we didn't really think of how it would bring in business. That just didn't really cross my mind. It just felt like the right thing to do. But afterwards, we kind of found, okay, well, as florists, what can we continue to do? And you can see here, we released something that we call the Give Back Bouquet, where proceeds from that sale goes to specific organizations. So we released the Strength, Power, and Peace bouquet, and it was very successful. And I'm so happy that we were able to raise over $3,000 that we then donated back to 4 separate organizations. I'd say we saw a little bit of, we did see growth in new customers afterwards, and a great deal of positive feedback from existing customers. So I think, you know, people really like to see small businesses care about the community that they're in. So it was very well received.
Yeah, and connecting with the now. You talked to me about just really kind of going with what's happening and connecting with it, and then and not so much thinking of the money in the future business, but that's kind of the karma effect of doing good, that you're going to get good back, and getting some customers that really connected with what you did is a great way to get, new customers for life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so Cindy, let's talk to you about the importance of showing your daily work on social media.
That was something that we had tried to do for quite a while since we've had the business, but then when we got into the COVID break, that really became significant for us. This post is actually a stolen idea from one of the previous panels that we had, where somebody was saying that they like to show their work every single week. So we did this, and this went over quite well. I think we ended up with over 85 likes on it, and some very generous comments about how beautiful all of our work is and how long everything lasts from our shop. So this is something that we've tried to do on a regular basis because it can drive business as well. I mean, it's not uncommon for us to put these arrangements on Facebook and have people call and say, I want that one, or can you make something like that? It actually worked out well because we had a similar arrangement to the top one in a monochromatic palette, that one of the businesses in towns going into Mother's Day contacted us and said, we are doing a Mother's Day giveaway. Could you make one of these for us, and we can include this as part of our giveaway? So I worked that out with them, and as a result of doing that, we had a number of orders come in for that similar arrangement as well across Mother's Day. And during COVID, it was the only way that we could really figure out how to get our merchandise in front of people, because they couldn't come in and shop the cooler. So they were able to say, I want that, I want this, whether it's plants or arrangements, or we did it with merchandise. So it was a way for them to basically virtual shop.
Yeah, it's the window into your shop right now. And so one of the other things you told me that you did is they kind of monitor the likes and things, and when they have a customer come in, like a husband come in and say, I want something different for my wife, and then you guys know your customers well enough, you're like, oh, she really commented on this arrangement from the other day, you want to have one of those? And it was a way to get out of what you were kind of standardly selling before, some cube arrangements that you standardly put in your cooler. And now by showing some of these new styles and stuff, you're able to kind of upgrade your customer styles and really kind of set your look and update that look, correct?
Yeah, and we actually had a guy come in a couple weeks ago, and he was trying to decide between 2 arrangements that were in the cooler. And he went back and forth, and we said, well, he was a younger guy. We said, if it makes a difference to you, this one on Facebook got over 100 likes, so your chances of her liking this is probably pretty good. And the girl that was waiting on him said he wrote out his little card, and then he flipped it over and wrote on the backside, P.S. the girls at the shop said this got over 100 likes on Facebook.
Yeah. So that was telling him a story. Now he told his girlfriend or wife that story, and all of a sudden they're going to be starting to follow you on social media and do that, and just gonna kind of increase that engagement. So it's a great way to go. Kind of talking about telling stories, Allie, why don't you tell us about this great arrangement that you posted? I see, sometimes we quotes, but having a quote that inspires an arrangement is a great way to make that connection.
Yeah, we we do quotes in a lot of our things. We do a quote painted on a mural on the front of our main window at the shop. And so, if a certain arrangement kind of feels like it could use a quote, we put it on there. That one we had put out around the 4th of July. And I think a lot of people were spending the 4th like in nature. So it also seemed just more kind of relevant. But we've been posting work on Facebook as well. I think that social media definitely continues to be one of our biggest platforms for advertising. I think the biggest thing is just being consistent. It's very time consuming. So I have one of our employees here do all of our social media as almost like a whole separate job role for her. And she posts 1 to 3 times a day. And because of that, we were able to double our social media likes in the past 2 years. So
Okay, just encouraging
a little bit.
Well, and that's what, we talk about people that are trend watchers and stuff, somebody like myself. But what trends are and things like that are stories that customers can repeat. So if they see this, they call and order it. Well, all of a sudden they can say, "Oh, it was inspired by nature," and talk about the quote and just make that connection. We did have a couple questions come in. Allie, I'm just going to stay with you. Can you speak at all to the percentages that you're getting on the 7 price points? Are you seeing the price points move up? You kind of indicated that. Are you?
Yeah, our average sale has gone up because the price points have gone up. The lower price points still continue to be our most popular ones. So that $49.95 price point to anywhere from 50 to 80 is probably our main price point. Probably 50% of the business, if we're talking percentages. And then the rest would be a combination of larger pieces, sympathy, and just plants that we sell on the website.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a question came in for you too, Cyndy. Has the border closing affected your business up there at all, or have you seen effects of that?
Yeah, that is one of the big issues that International Falls is having. Our sister city on the Canadian border, Fort Frances, has a lot of people that come over and shop on the U.S. side, and we're seeing the effects of that because for most communities, they have a 360-degree area that they can pull from, and now we can only pull from 180 degrees. So essentially, our market has been cut in half. And I know I don't track Canadian customers because for flower shops, it's a little bit different than for some of the other businesses in town. But one of my business neighbors said that she has 30% of her business comes from Canadians.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, and the fact that you're still increasing your sales during this time with those circumstances on your location is a great position to be in. And some of it, I think, is due to this. And this was a post that you had on your Facebook page with these orange glads, and boy, it stopped me in my tracks. And just kind of goes to talking about, it doesn't have to be like super exciting stuff. It just can be daily things that make you say, wow. So talk about some of the other things, promos that you're doing.
One of the kind of kitschy things that we started doing a while back was $5 Fridays. And after we did $5 Fridays, which was an idea that we stole with pride from another florist that we heard about through the grapevine, somebody came in and said, these are great, but I'd kind of like to put something like this on my desk at the beginning of the week and enjoy it all week long. So why don't you do like a $5 Friday at the beginning of the week? So we came up with $10 Tuesdays. And this is just a nice, easy way for us to just move some flowers. It's just nice grab and go bouquets for people. Sometimes somebody will come in and buy 3 or 4 of them and they bring them back to the office and just share them with their coworkers because it's an inexpensive price point. It's just a little pick-me-up for them. And as we were going through the whole COVID break, we were actually getting calls and Facebook messages from our customers asking if it was $5 Friday or $10 Tuesday. And truthfully, I forgot what day of the week it was half the time. And so they were reminding me. So then we hurried up and made some of them and made a post for it. But this was just a great way to get people in the shop. If nothing else, they're curious about them. And like I said, it's just a nice little easy way for somebody to say, I'm thinking of you.
Yeah. Now, I like the $10 Tuesday and kind of its marketing to a little bit different audience. And different reason, and a little bit more to the offices, although we're working from home now. But we've got flowers here all the time, and it's kind of a breath of fresh air. But
National Falls is in the second poorest county in the state of Minnesota. So people do have extremely limited budgets. So this is a way that somebody that does have a tight economic situation can actually get some flowers for themselves.
yeah, everybody's kind of craving that shopping experience. And Allie, this is a shot from on their website that talks about shopping their store and kind of showing the variety of products that they have. So why don't you talk to this a little bit?
Yeah. So we, a lot of people didn't know we even had a gift store. So when I purchased the business a few years back, I kind of added N Boutique to the name, and it's brought a lot of more people in to the boutique. And after posting these pictures, we just did it so people can kind of see what kind of store we are. But we've had people calling and shopping from our website from these pictures during COVID, which is great because adding all that merchandise to the website to virtually shop is extremely time consuming. So it's been nice because people call and say, hey, I want something similar to what I see in this picture, and we're able to just walk around the store, pick things out with them, sometimes do video chats, and then they get that shopping experience without even having to step foot in the store.
Yeah, and this is the gallery view, but you can click on each photo separately. But I just wanted to show the variety, and it is an efficient way to be able to show all of the variety that you have in your store, and then encourage them to call you, and that you guys can be their own personal shopper. And that's a big thing where, now there are people still don't want to go out and need some personal shopping experience. So it's a really good way to go. But all right, so next we're just going to go back to Allie and just talk to you about kind of planning events and some of the things you're doing to promote events on social media, and going back to the plant sales that everybody's being very successful with.
Yeah, so as I just mentioned at the beginning, we started putting merchandise on our website, and it was super time consuming, but we still had people who wanted to shop, and how can we do that? So we started doing virtual sales on Facebook, and we post pictures, individual pictures, and then we put the price underneath the picture, and then they can claim the item directly from the picture. It's been really successful, and I think the coolest thing about it is, no joke, like 90% of the people shopping these sales have been new to our store. And when they when they claim something online directly from the photos, each plant for the plant sales is pictured with a number to reference when checking out. And they check out by filling out a Google form with all their information, and then those numbers that corresponded with the plants. So that it makes checkout easier when we're entering in the information into our computer system. And I also, at the beginning, we got away from this a little bit now that our storefront's actually open, but in the beginning for all of our virtual sales, we started including a $5 off coupon and then a mini soap with each purchase. And we have seen so many of those coupons back, and we've also, we've had people coming back for the soap. So that's helped capture new customers as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you do have went too far. One new thing that you're as I was exploring your Facebook page, saw you have a plant club that you're starting, and so of course I was like first one to sign up.
Yeah, so the plant club, so we were doing all these events for these virtual plant sales, and we were getting a lot of people coming to these events, and but we'd have to reach those people again and again and again. And instead, what we decided to do is create the plant club. So now we still put it on Facebook as an event, but then we link it to the plant club, which is literally a group on Facebook that people can join. So that way they don't have to go to this event and then search for the photos. And then when the event closes, it's almost impossible to go back to those photos. So it just makes shopping easier, and it makes, when you're doing these, uploading those photos and everything, doing it to a group is much more efficient than trying to upload 100 photos onto a Facebook event. So you'll see on this photo as well, it says monthly plan subscription. And that's something that we're just kind of getting started right now. So I don't have too many details on that one yet. So.
Yeah, but people can follow you on your social media page and kind of see what it is. And I'm excited to see how it goes. And we talked about flower subscriptions a couple weeks ago, and have some other people trying that too. And I think the plant subscription is a great way to go. We have a lot of new plant parents out there now, and it's a big trend. So you've seen increased traffic too as well, Cyndy, right?
Yeah, we've kind of joked because about a year ago we only had like a peace lily and maybe a couple other really common plants in the shop. And now, as the post on the right says, it's turning into a jungle around here. That was kind of the joke from one of my employees. She made that post without me knowing that she was making it, because she's just freshly back with us. And she said that there's so many plants around here, and we keep ordering them in. Matter of fact, we just got a whole bunch more in today. And when we do a post, we usually sell about half of them. So my employees laugh at me because I walk around and I say, yep, it's time to order more plants again. And they're like, there's so many here compared to normal, but we're selling them. We are selling more plants now than we probably have like in the previous 3 years combined.
Yeah. Yeah, it's increasing foot traffic in the summer, which is a time, and now it's a good way to go. So,
Hey, Sandy, speaking of posting, Lisa's looking for advice on how to get followers to actually comment on post other than just liking it. She seems to get a lot of likes, but nothing more than just the likes, looking for some more engagement, comments and whatnot.
Some is to ask questions, and then also ask for the share and the like contests, but to ask questions that they have to answer. But then once they do, then you want to respond to them, because that will also increase your rating on how you respond to people. So if somebody says, wow, that's a beautiful arrangement, just a quick thank you. We love bright flowers, kind of something like that. But like we're doing on the chat, I've got Ray, on there looking on and trying to encourage people to respond. So the more engagement kind of drives more engagement, but asking questions, and rather than just do a post, like put 3 arrangements up. Which one's your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? And so it might just be a quick one, or you can say what's your favorite and why, to just get that engagement from your customers. And I mean, like this post here, you'll see this is another idea that we shared, but I found on Allie's Facebook page for Lexington. This is actually a casket spray if you read the text, but it could be an arrangement. It's a stunning design that really captures your eye, and with the sunflowers and kind of that whole summer sunny feeling brings a smile, and adds, appeals to that emotional aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, we've been posting more and more sympathy on our Facebook, because I'm sure, like everybody, sympathy is starting to pick up because there's such a backlog of funerals. So anytime we get something that's a little bit more unique than what you would typically see, we try to take a picture and put it up there, and it's been well received.
Yeah, that's beautiful design, and I mean, it's something could go to a home, and that sympathy looks a little bit different now. And but so this was amazing. We shared lots of ideas today, And I want to start just another poll up quick, and kind of just we want to track a little bit what the things are that you guys are liking. And so we just wanted to put a poll up. If you guys can put in your responses of the things that you think that you would implement in the future or plan to implement of some of these things. So we have that changing the website to designer choice arrangements, and we're seeing that get some votes already and traction, and simple things like putting that table outside your door, doing that community campaign fundraiser, using daily posts to upgrade customer requests, showing designs that tell a story, and that $10 Tuesday. So then just publishing events and doing new things on social. I guess we didn't talk about the plant classes that these guys are doing too, but and then just looking at some of the other ideas for the other people. And so we're gonna end this right now. If I can come up with my mouse. Oh my gosh. I don't know why that thing has to disappear every week. There we go. End poll. All right. And we'll share the results. So changing the website to designer choice arrangements and $10 Tuesday seem to be getting the most traction. And so we really look forward to those guys trying the ideas that we have. I'm gonna stop sharing that there, close the poll. And so Ray, was there any other questions that we missed?
No, I think we got them all covered.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. It's amazing the simple 30 minutes, the return on investment you can get for just stepping away from the distractions for half of an hour, and just the return on investment on that is amazing. So thanks for everybody for the input, and everybody that joined. One thing that stuck out my mind is with the designer's choice kind of mythology, just the job satisfaction that probably goes with that as an employee of yours. I think myself, if I was a designer, I would probably be much more happy doing that and expressing myself through that way than just following a recipe and being told what to do. I think that probably leads to higher job satisfaction and lower turnover, which is, obviously very important, especially in these days. So well done.
All right. So as a thank you gift, we'll be sending you guys some fun blooms this next week. And if people have ideas that they've implemented and been successful with from some of these webinars that we're talking through, or have other ideas and would be willing to share your story, I would invite you to contact me at Lembush Roses. Our next LBR Shares webinar will be Tuesday, August 4th at 2:30. And we appreciate your attendance today and your continued support of our business. And we have all the social media pages and stuff, and we'll be sending follow-up emails with the previous webinar links on Constant Contact. And we appreciate all of your business and support, and go and share your success. So thank you very much for attending. Bye-bye.
Hey.